The leaves are piling up and fall is upon us. And you guys know what that means. There's some brand new anime just around the corner. And there's a lot of shows that I'm looking forward to seeing, but the two that I'm really looking forward to the most is the return of the most classic mecha anime franchise of all time, Mobile Suit Gundam. And there's gonna be count 'em, two shows this year based on that classic franchise. One of which is going to be the second season to Gundam Build Fighters, which is called Gundam Build Fighters Try. Cannot wait to watch that one because I loved the first season. It completely blew away my expectations, and it's just a good, wholesome, make you feel good Gundam show. However, this other one, which just started today, is a little more traditional and a little more war-torn story that we've seen from traditional Gundam shows. It's called Gundam Reconguista NG. The title is a little ridiculous. The show itself is not. In fact, this might be the most beautiful Gundam anime I have ever seen. I freaking love the art style in this show. The minute it started up, you just know you're going to be into something special because the character designs are a perfect combination of modern anime techniques and the classic character designs that we saw in the original Mobile Suit Gundam. And that's what's also great about this story. It actually takes place in the Universal Century, thousands of years in the future, so this is actually a continuation of the original timeline. And for old school Gundam fans like me, we really love that. So what is Reconguista NG all about? Well, it takes place thousands of years in the future of Universal Century, and mobile suit battles and wars are pretty much obsolete at this point. In fact, mobile suits themselves are seen as somewhat taboo, and only the military uses them. And in the future, there are these massive space elevators, which is protected by the Capital Army. And that's where our main characters come in. Our main protagonist of the show is known as Bellry Zenom, or Bell. And Bell is one of the most infectiously happy characters that I've ever seen in a Gundam. And I think that's a great change of pace because I really wasn't hoping to see like another brooding main character that we always see in the series. He definitely has some aspects of Amuro Ray as seen in the original show, but he's a lot more positive about things, and especially the fact that he's going to have to dragged into this war, because that's what Gundams do in the first couple episodes. They drag a young cadet and put him into a massive mobile suit of death, and then the action ensues. We're also introduced to the antagonists of the series, which are known as the Space Pirates, or the Amerian Army. And I'm not really sure what their plans are quite yet. The first two episodes really don't get into the backstory of anything too much. It's basically just an excuse to show us what the world is going to look like, introduce us to a lot of the main characters, and show us some of the mobile suits. And that brings us to the actual titular mobile suit itself, which is known as the G-Self. And it's very traditional when you look at it at first. It just has the same color scheme, the red, the blue, the white. Except I think the biggest difference, obviously, is the smoothness of the actual Gundam itself, and the fact that it actually doesn't have the traditional V-crest. It actually has these horns that jet out right from its head. And I like it. I think it looks really cool. It doesn't really have any special powers quite yet to make it feel distinctive, but it does have a really awesome beam rifle, which makes an awesome sounding noise. So the Space Pirates are being attacked by this Gundam known as the G-Self, and it's up to Bellry to get in this construction mobile suit, which is known as a Rectan, and he's actually able to fight it on pretty good terms, and the fight scene here is fantastic. And it's also strange because they're also involving this brand new character who was captured at the very beginning of the episode inside one of those mobile suits, who is this girl known as Raraya Monday. She's a girl who lost her memories, and she clearly has some sort of connection to the Space Pirates, and she definitely gives off this Lala vibe, the character from the original Mobile Suit Gundam, and I imagine that's probably intentional. In the first episode, we just get introduced to the academy that Bellry and his friends attend. It's the Capital Academy. This is where they work as guards and train to protect the massive space elevators. That is until the Space Pirates come in, and the person who's actually piloting the G-Self is the, I'm guessing, the main female lead of the series, whose name is Ida, who has a great character design and, frankly, is just gorgeous. The second episode is when things really pick up, and it actually starts to get a little dark towards the end of the very first episode, but it's all a calm before the storm. We just get to see what life is like for Bellry and his friends at the academy, and everything seems happy-go-lucky. They get to hang out all day in this nice, beautiful space colony. There's happy-go-lucky cheerleaders all over the place who are trying to get Raraya to join their group, and the actual design of the space colonies themselves is just amazing. I love the color schemes. It literally looks just like a huge splash of color. This is one of the most colorful shows I've ever seen, and that's great because a lot of the times Gundam can be kind of sterile, but this one just the fireworks in the sky, the fact that the cities have these color schemes, which look like someone literally just took like a bucket of random colored paint and threw it all over the place, the beautiful backdrops, the look of space, everything just looks like a painting. And it's pretty obvious that they've been pouring one hell of a budget into this show. And in the second half, they really get to show it off a little bit more when the space pirates finally attack the Academy and the military has to fight them. And this all leads up to the eventual scene where Bellry gets into the G-Cell for the first time, very traditional for Gundam. And as they're trying to escape with Ida in tow, who's actually the space pirate, her commander, known as Kahil, decides to attack, and this is like the first real battle that he has in the mobile suit. And he actually ends up killing this guy accidentally. And I didn't think at first that he was killed, because I'm not quite sure where the cockpit was on the pirate's mobile suit, because it looks a little different. It kind of resembles like some of the older ones we saw from Universal Century. It has a very big bulky head. It definitely leans more towards the Xeon side of designs of things. And speaking of which, there was an amazing cameo scene during the attack in the second episode when Commander Kahil went into this like old mobile suit museum, and you could see a lot of classic mobile suits from Gundam, like Zaku's and Dom's, Rick Dom's, and Federation mobile suits, and it was like this just like old museum of like grayed out old units, which they haven't really said how far this takes place after Universal Century, but it must have been a really long time. The end of the episode ends pretty ominously when Bellry has to come to terms with the fact that he actually just killed someone, and this, of course, completely destroys his happy-go-lucky demeanor. I hope this is not going to be the case for the rest of the show, because I think that's one of the best things about Bellry's character, is there's a lot of moments in the series where you think he's going to do something really stereotypical, like when he's told to pilot the Gundam for the first time, his first immediate reaction is just to go, "What?" And then 2 seconds later, he's like, "All right, let's do it." Like, he's just such an enthusiastic protagonist, and that's what I love about him. So, at the end of the episode, he has to live with the fact that he just killed someone. Ida is crying right in front of him, and it ends right there as the army is getting ready to come in and stop all of this stuff. So, what's the rundown on the first 2 episodes of Gundam Reconguista in G? It was awesome. I loved everything about it. I still have a lot of questions, and I imagine that's going to be the case for a lot of people, because they still haven't explained everything about how this whole world works, and like the whole concept of the capital army and the pirates, why they seem to have like some sort of like out for them, and obviously there's just a lot to explain, like why they got rid of mobile suits and everything. But still, this is a great series that is a wonderful combination of the old and the new. This is definitely a show that older Gundam fans are really going to appreciate, especially just for all the cameos and just for like the references to things. The fact that Minovsky particles are still such a strong element in the Gundam show, and they actually ditched Haro in this series and actually replaced him with his brand new upgrade, which is known as Harubi. So you're still going to get your ridiculous little Gundam robot mascot in this series if you were missing them. Otherwise, my favorite thing about the show is clearly the art direction, the mobile suit design, and the character designs, which are really good, incredibly distinctive, because almost every character looks very different, and they don't seem like they just blend into the background. Every character looks appropriate, and I love it. It's awesome. A lot of the characters, we don't have a lot of time to get attached to them in the first 2 episodes. Really, they focus mostly on Bellry and some of his friends, like the cheerleaders at school. And, of course, there's Raraya Monday, who, like I said, she basically just goes through the first 2 episodes going through, like, panic attacks and freaking out whenever she sees the G-Self Gundam. I do find it interesting that it starts out with the villains using the Gundam for the first time, and it already makes me think that maybe these space pirates aren't so bad, and it could be very possible that the Capital Army is going to end up being the main antagonist of the series, and that's something that a lot of Gundam anime have done before by making it seem like the bad guys are actually the good guys at first. And, you know, this is Gundam. This is a war show. A lot of the times, third factions come in. Anything can happen. And just the thing I'm really surprised about is just the quality of the show, especially because they're going to be making 2 Gundam anime at a time right now. And, you know, Gundam Build Fighters' art style is just night and day different from this. And this is traditional in that pretty much every single brand new iteration of Gundam does have, like, its own distinctive art style. But this one still harkens back to a lot of the character design from the 70s. And this series knows it looks good because the actual intro itself actually reuses clips from the first 2 episodes. So they didn't even have to go and make their own special animated clips for the intro. because the actual quality is basically movie-like. And like I said, it definitely gives off an OREC of 7 vibe, but I think that's a good thing because that show is absolutely gorgeous. All I know is the hype is real for this show. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait to learn a little bit more about the lore and the universe, and I just can't wait to see this one unfold because it's been a while since we've had a more traditional Gundam. The only ones that came before this was the end of Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, and of course Gundam Age, which was a good show, but it still didn't blow me away. This one looks like it's definitely going to be a little more interesting, and a lot of that does have to do with just the incredible art direction. God, this show is gorgeous. If you guys are into mecha at all, check out this show. If you're a big fan of Gundam, please watch this show. It is awesome, because I'm definitely going to be reviewing every episode, and I'm really excited because this will be the third Gundam anime that I've actually had a chance to review. I already reviewed all of Gundam Age and Gundam Build Fighters, and I'm always really excited when a brand new Gundam is getting ready to start, and of course, I'm really anxious to see what type of models they're going to be releasing, because that's always a big deal for Gundam fans whenever these shows get ready to start. So, Gundam fans, check it out. Mecha fans, check it out. Action fans and fans of just good, gorgeous animation, check out this series. It's definitely going to be a pleasant surprise, and I'm really glad it came along because a lot of my favorite shows just ended, like Space Dandy, and this show's art style already gave off that like dandy vibe of high quality, and it just gives me a lot of hope for the rest of the year. So even though Space Dandy was my favorite of 2014, there's still a lot of really quality shows coming up. So there it is, guys. Check it out. I'm giving the first 2 episodes a 5 out of 5. I just really liked them. I would lower the score a little bit because things are mysterious, but this is an ongoing Gundam series. They will reveal things in due time. So check it out. Awesome series. Thank you guys for watching my review. If you liked this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. And did you guys watch the first 2 episodes of Gundam Reconguista in G? What did you think about it? Do you like the mobile suits, the characters, the story? What do you hope to see from the rest of this series? And are you also going to check out Gundam Build Fighters Try? Please tell me in your comments below. Remember guys, before you leave, you can also go ahead and subscribe to our channel. You can do that by clicking on the little icon right here at the top. You can also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter.